Hello everybody and welcome. For the stitch today I'm going to chain 37 chains depending on how wide you want your project to be. You have to chain multiple of 12 plus one additional chain. So now that we have our chain, let's start on row 1. We have to work on the second chain from the hook. There we are going to make our first petal. So yarn over, go into the chain, pull up a loop. Yarn over, go into the chain, pull up a loop. Yarn over, go into the chain, pull up a loop. 3 times, yarn over, go into the chain, pull up a loop. This way we're going to make all of our flower petals from now on. Then skip 6 chains, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and in the 7th chain we're going to make our next petal. Yarn over, go into the chain, pull up a loop. Yarn over, go into the chain, pull up a loop. Yarn over, go into the chain, pull up a loop. Okay, like this. From here, skip the next chain, going into the 2nd chain. Yarn over, go into the chain, pull up a loop. Yarn over, go into the chain, pull up a loop. Yarn over, go into the chain, pull up a loop. Like this. From here, yarn over once more, go into the same chain, pull up a loop, then yarn over and make 2 chains. Okay, like this. Now yarn over and pull through all loops. Like this. And chain 2. Now we're going to work into the space between these petals. We're going to make another petal. So yarn over, go into the chain space, pull up a loop 2 more times, like this. Yarn over, pull through all loops, and then chain 2. Skip the next chain on the foundation chain here, and in the next we have to make 6 double crochet. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, like this. This is how it's looking so far. So from here we continue with chain 2, pull up the loop to make it a little bit bigger. Our first petal we're going to make in the first chain. Yarn over, go into the chain, pull up a loop, yarn over, go into the chain, pull up a loop, yarn over, go into the chain, pull up a loop 3 times. Here below on the foundation chain, skip 1 chain and we have to make the next petal in the next chain. Again, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, go into the stitch, pull up a loop, yarn over, go into the stitch, pull up a loop. Then skipping 2 more chains, in the third we have to make our next petal. Like this. Yarn over, go into the same chain, pull up a loop, and then make 2 chains. So from here, yarn over and pull through all loops on the hook. Like this. And chain 2. Now we have to make one more petal into the chain space between the puffs. Like this, yarn over, pull through all loops and chain 2. Skip one stitch here, one chain down below, and we have to make 6 double crochet. And from here, start repeating again the steps. Chain 2, make the first, second and third petal, then the fourth one at in the chain space, and from there go again to make the next group of double crochet. So when you reach the end of the row and you make your last flower, there have to be 2 stitches left at the end. Just make 1 double crochet in the last stitch to finish the row. Now let's start with row 2, chain 5, and turn. Now we're going to work again into the space between the petals to form our flower. There's 2 petals left, so yarn over, going to this space here, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull another loop, yarn over, pull another loop. Like I said in the previous row, each petal we make with 3 repeats of yarn over, going to the chain or the chain space and pulling up a loop. So from here, yarn over, pull through all loops, then chain 3, and now the next petal again into the chain space, same way, yarn over, pull through all loops, chain 2, and now we're moving directly above this double crochet here. We have to make 6 more above each one of them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Chain 1, and we're going into the next chain space here to finish the next flower. I'm going to make the first petal, chain 3, and then the next petal. Chain 1, and then again 6 double crochet here. If you enjoy working with this kind of puff stitches and creating some flowers or some other forms, I have 2 written patterns that you might like. I'll put somewhere here on the screen photos, and down below in the description I'll put links to the patterns. To finish the row, after you've created your last flower, chain 2, like I have one chain already made, one more, and we have to make one double crochet in this chain right here into this chain stitch. Now for row 3, chain 3 and turn. Now that our flower is completed, we have to start building this part right here above the flower. So we have to make one double crochet in the first chain space, one double crochet above the stitch, above the puff, in the stitch above the puff, like this, 2 double crochet in the chain space between the petals, one double crochet above the next petal, and one double crochet in the next chain space. And now we have 6 double crochet, not counting the chain here. Now above this group of double crochet, we have to start building our flower, next flower. So chain 2, make the loop a little bigger. Here in the first chain we're going to make our first petal, like this. Then we're moving on these stitches here. The next petal we're going to make in the second stitch. We're going to skip this stitch here and working on the next petal, like this, skipping these 2 stitches in the middle and going into the next one, again the same way. So here at the last petal, yarn over one more time, going to the same stitch, pull up a loop and then chain 2. And now we have to yarn over and pull through all loops on the hook. And chain 2. Now we have to make our next petal inside this chain space here. 1, 2, 3, yarn over, pull through all loops and chain 2. Above the flower we have to make the next group of 6 double crochet. So we're going to start first in this chain space here with 1 double crochet, then 1 double crochet in the stitch above the first petal, 2 double crochet in the chain space between the petals, 1 double crochet above the next petal, and 1 double crochet in the chain space after that. And from here on we continue with the same steps. Chain 2, make the first petal in the first chain, then the second petal into the second stitch, skipping this first one. The third petal we have to skip 2 stitches here and go into the next stitch, and the row with a group of 6 double crochet above the last flower. And at the end, again here in this chain space, make one additional double crochet. Now to start row 4, chain 3 and turn. We have to make 6 double crochet. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. Like this. Chain 1, and now we're going to work into the chain space between the puffs. We have to make the 2 remaining petals, like each petal before. Yarn over, go into the chain space, pull up a loop, repeat that 3 times. Yarn over, pull through all loops, then chain 3, and the same way with the next petal. Okay, like this. Then chain 2, and we're moving on to the group of 6 double crochet, where we have to make again 6 double crochet. 3, 4, 5, 6, chain 1, and again 2 petals into the flower. At the end of the row, make the 6 double crochet, and then to finish it, make 1 more double crochet into the chain here. Now let's start row 5. Chain 6, and turn. Here we have to start working again on building the flower that will come right here. So the first petal we're going to make in the second chain from the hook. I'm going to pull this a little bit to make it bigger. And then yarn over, go into the chain, pull up a loop, yarn over, go into the chain, pull up a loop, yarn over, go into the chain, pull up a loop. 3 times as usual. The second petal will be in the stitch above the second double crochet. So we don't count this one. Here's the first one and here's the second. Like this. Then skip 2 more stitches here. The third petal will be in the third stitch. Like this. Yarn over 1 more time here, go again into the stitch, pull up a loop and chain 2. And now yarn over and pull through all loops on the hook. Like this. Then chain 2. Now we have to make the fourth petal. Pull up slightly, yarn over, go into the chain space 3 times, yarn over, pull through all loops and chain 2. And now we're moving on to the next steps. Here above this flower we have to make 6 double crochet. The first one is in the first chain space, then you have one that is in the stitch above the first petal, then the next two are between the petals, the fifth one is above the next petal, and the last one is in the chain space, like this. Then chain 2, and we're going to start on the next flower. Pull up a little bit the loop, going to the first chain, pull up a loop, going to the first chain, pull up a loop, like this 3 times. Here starts for our first petal. Then we have to skip this stitch right here, going to the next one to make the second petal. Okay, then skipping these two, going into the next one to make the third petal. Yarn over, go again into the same stitch, pull up a loop, chain 2, like this, and then yarn over and pull through all loops on the hook. Chain 2, and now we have to make the fourth petal. Like this, and then again here 6 double crochet above this flower. When you make the last flower for this row, finish the row with 1 double crochet in the chain right here. From now on, you have to repeat rows from 2 to 5 over and over again until you reach the desired length. So this is the stitch. I hope you enjoyed the video and find it useful. Let me know down in the comments what you plan to do with this stitch. Bye for now, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!